Welcome to the Tracks for the Journey Network, dedicated to building your well being. I'm Larry Payne, your host, and you can find more information about the network on my website, tracksforthejourney.com. What is your stress-ometer reading today? You know what I'm talking about. Are you calm on the low end of the scale, or are you redlining with a pull out your hair kind of moment? How do you know the number on your stress-ometer? You feel it in your body. Tense muscles, hurting stomach, waking up too early. You can also read the stressometer with distracted thoughts, irritation, and worries about the future. Thank you for joining me today, and let's explore a path to peace of mind. What do we do when the stressometer is pushing the limits? I think we can find some guidance in weaving together a Bible story and modern knowledge on stress. Let's turn to the Hebrew Testament and the story of Hannah. It's a classic description of depression due to chronic stress. She lived around 1100 BCE, and her stress factor was the inability to bear a child, which was the ultimate shame in the Hebrew tribes of that Iron Age culture. We can listen to the biblical story for a moment. It goes like this. Elkanah had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Her rival used to provoke her severely, to irritate her, because the Lord had closed her womb. So it went on year after year. As often as Hannah went up to the house of the Lord, Peninnah used to provoke her. And therefore Hannah wept and would not eat. Her husband said to her, Hannah, why are you crying? Why do you not eat? Why is your heart sad? Am I not more valuable to you than 10 sons? Hannah was deeply distressed and prayed to the Lord and wept. I've been speaking out of my great anxiety and vexation all of these years. Then priest Eli answered, Well, go in peace. The God of Israel grant the petition you have made to him. And then Hannah went on her way and ate and drank with her husband, and her countenance was sad no longer. Elkanah knew his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. And Hannah conceived and bore a son. She named him Samuel. Okay, that's a really interesting biblical story, isn't it? We must be cautious, however, about diagnosing a disorder from ancient stories. But in this case, it seems Hannah was suffering from what today we would call a mixed depressive and anxious mood that lowered her fertility. The difficulty in conceiving, the ridicule from the other woman, Peninnah, which was matched by the other women in the village, I'm sure, and the pressure from her husband brought a toxic combination of stress. She came to a breaking point of continually tearful sadness, no appetite, and a lack of pleasure in any part of her life. How do we deal with all the stress we feel can be in today's world? Modern psychology and traditions of faith point us to some important answers. The core of the response must be in finding new thought patterns. To say this does not discount that events are hard and we simply need to be happy. Childlessness in Hannah's day was truly a disaster in that ancient world, and certainly we face tough things now. We face the bad diagnoses that may come, or a car wreck that would bring injury, or a relationship that painfully fractures. And we do make bad choices in our own actions. After that event and the immediate emotions comes our choice of reaction and reflection. That's what I mean by finding new thought patterns. To minimize the disabling stress, we must move forward toward thoughts and actions which are healthy. So, here let me share 4 tools to crank down the intensity of your stressometer. First, focus on now and what you can control. Most of the future is beyond your control. What you are worried about might happen, but probably won't. In the same way, the past is out of your control. You cannot change it, of course. You can, however, stop the self reproach and regret for what is already in your rearview window. Turn your attention to aim your thoughts toward ideas that are rational and realistic for your situation. We can imagine Hannah jumping to the catastrophic conclusion that she would never conceive and ultimately be shamed by her husband and village. That reaction was not helping her situation. Second, we can connect with trusted people. We certainly are social creatures. Isolation is deadly. Choose to connect with other folks, to laugh and to love and to tell the story, whether it's good or bad. Even just seeing a smile triggers the good hormones in our own brains, and you will find others who are suffering and can join in a network of support. Healthy people are connected people. And did you know that Hannah told the priest Eli, who she believed represented God, about her problem? She made a connection with a trusted person. Next, have some fun. Doing an activity brings a relaxation response to your body that calms the anxiety hormones. Take some deep breaths. Do something that gives healthy pleasures. Some may play a sport. Some may sit and quilt. Others play video games or dig in flower beds. It all is about finding that zone where time seems suspended and our body focuses on something enjoyable. Interestingly, in the story, we read of Hannah that she returned home with her husband after meeting the priest to resume her normal eating and activity. This certainly would have moved her chemical balance to a normal and healthy range. Finally, I want to suggest that turning toward spiritual resources makes a huge difference. We can receive the empowering work of God's Spirit no matter how we feel. A dynamic, divine energy is ever present and always loving to guide you. You'll notice that the story reports Hannah had confidence in the promise the priest had given, and thus her demeanor moved from sadness to positivity. Now, let's admit this biblical story is simple and condensed. When we face the challenge of stress, the move toward health may be challenging and long. It may require medical care and counseling. Those are things Hannah could never have imagined years ago. Yet we can move toward well being in our day just as she did. By the way, what Hannah did changed everything. We can assume her change in thought patterns, her faith in the promise of the priest, these things work together to relieve her stress. This may have affected her ovulation, made her even more appealing to her husband, and soon a little boy was running around their tent. He was named Samuel and grew to be a great leader for the Hebrew people. So I think this story gives us hope when our stressometer is out of whack. Don't give up when stress creates dark sadness and worry. You can move forward with these tools toward renewed well being. Welcome to the Tracks for the Journey Network, dedicated to building your well being. I'm Larry Payne, your host.